If Christianity, as we believe it is, the living presence of Jesus Christ in the world, if Christianity, as we believe, is not an intellectual or philosophical concept, then is it possible for Christ or His presence to decline? The simple answer is no. From the Holy Bible, Apostle Paul declared that Christianity does not decline because Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Hebrew 13, chapter 13, verse 8. In the Old Testament, Prophet Elijah, one of the greatest prophets of the Old Testament, protested to the Lord as he was fleeing from the Queen of Israel for his safety. He went a long travel. He was on the mountain in isolation by himself. He protested to the Lord about the decline of people's loyalty to the worship of the true God. Prophet Elijah said, "I am the only one left faithful." That's what he said to the Lord in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, verse 14. The Lord responded by saying that the loyalty to the true God, even though is invisibly or publicly diminishing, it never fades away. So the Lord said to Elijah, "I reserve 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed down to Baal, and whose mouth have not kissed him." 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 18. So that was the response that the Lord gave to Elijah in the state of his desperation, where he thought that everything around him is crumbling. It is obvious that the Christian Western societies are launching systematic eradication campaigns against Christianity. Western societies that were traditionally, until very few years ago, themselves Christian, and all of their laws and principles of government were based upon Christian principles, they are replacing those in lieu of pre-Christian, pagan principles and values. So while traditional Christian societies in the West are adopting pagan religion and pagan principles, Christianity is growing underground, or coming from underground growth in pagan or traditionally non-Christian countries. So when the Lord says, "I reserve 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed down to Baal, and their mouth have not kissed him," When he said that to Elijah, he's saying that to us today, even today, and that is still true. How can the public loyalty to Jesus Christ regain its sails? As we saw over the history, that public loyalty, not loyalty, public loyalty is declining. So how can that be recovered? This will require church communities, just like our church communities throughout the world, to regain their identity. We are at age, we are suffering from dementia in a spiritual sense. We have somehow got confused about what is our identity, what is our role, why we are called Christians, and why we have embraced the Christian faith. The church is not a commercial entity. The church is not a business. The purpose of the church is not to sell any product. The purpose of the church is to provide healing to all the broken, to all the wounded. The purpose of the church is to be the presence of Jesus Christ, just as Jesus Christ, the case it was when he went around taking care of the people. The church should never ever compromise its values in return for any political gain. Today, this Sunday, we are commemorating a group of people: Saint Nicodemus, Saint Joseph of Arimathea, the myrrh-bearing woman. All of these people were somehow either fragile or weak or cowards, or they were in hidings, didn't have the protection of weapon and the protection of the political world. These are the people that were thought to be weak. They are the one that served and declared the truth. And they served and declared the truth. At the consequence, the result of them standing to declare the truth was that financially and politically and throughout their societies, they suffered great losses. Because these people that we heard their names, they had means, they had money. Joseph of Arimathea, Nicodemus, they had political possessions. They suffered the loss of these political possessions, their property, and their money, in return to serving the truth. So, the church is the healing presence of Jesus Christ. The programs of the church should always serve this purpose. The church should never be an exclusive club of entertainment entities. And the training of the church should always teach people how to speak the truth and how to speak courageously. Christianity never ever declines. Christ never changes. But Christians and societies, or those that carry the name Christians and societies, who lose their courage to speak the truth. Christians and societies that sell out their principles of truth in order to regain a transient earthly glory, a transient earthly recognition, those that sell out their loyalty to Jesus Christ will decline. And they will suffer greatly, and they will suffer the loss of the eternal glory. The Lord, however, will bring others to replace those that sell out. The question for us today: who do you want to be? The one that is selling out Jesus Christ? Or the one who is declaring your loyalty to Jesus Christ at a loss and sometimes at a great loss? Χριστός Ανέστη.